Someone is crying over you right now, and here's the heartbreaking reason why. My beloved child, listen closely, because this moment was designed for you. There is someone, right now, whose eyes are filled with tears, and the reason behind those tears carries your name. You may not know it, but their heart is trembling in silence, holding on to a truth they've been afraid to speak. They sit in the stillness of the night, whispering your name into the empty air. Every tear they shed is a story of regret, of longing, of love they never managed to show you in the way you truly deserved. And heaven is revealing this truth so you can finally see what was hidden. You felt strange waves of sadness suddenly washing over you, haven't you? That was not your sadness, it was theirs. Because their heart is tied to yours in ways the world never understood, and that bond has carried both joy and pain. Even now, they replay moments with you in their mind, moments that may have seemed small to you but were monumental to them. They cry because they didn't value you enough when you were close. And now distance has become their punishment. Stay here, don't skip, because what you're about to hear will shock you. The reason for their tears is not simple, it's layered with secrets, with choices they regret, and with truths they tried to bury but can no longer hide. And you must know this today, because heaven says the time of revelation has come. They are crying because they remember the times you trusted them, the times you gave your heart so freely. And they feel the sting of their own mistakes when they didn't handle your love with the care it deserved. That guilt has grown heavier with every passing day. They are crying because they saw you moving forward, shining in your light, and they realized how much they lost when they didn't stand by you fully. Their chest aches with the weight of what-ifs. And their spirit is restless because they know they broke something precious. They are crying because they want forgiveness, yet they don't know how to ask for it. They hold on to your memory like a sacred fire, one that both warms them and burns them. And deep inside, they pray that one day you will know the truth. They are crying because every time they see someone with your smile, your energy, or even your presence online, it stirs a storm inside them. It reminds them that their silence created this distance. And their soul cannot stay still anymore, it trembles for you. My beloved child, do not ignore this message. Because heaven says that your presence has always been their safe place, their anchor. And the truth they tried to bury is surfacing because the divine wants you to finally see. They cry because they feel unworthy of you, yet unable to let you go. They cry because every path they take leads back to your memory. And they cry because they know that no one else could ever fill the space in their heart where you live. You've been feeling someone pulling on your energy, haven't you? That sudden heaviness, that strange emotional weight, it's their soul reaching for you. Because their tears are not just for the past, but for the future they fear they have lost. But here's the most heartbreaking part, they are crying because they believe it's too late. Their silence built walls, their pride created gaps, and their fear stole the moments they should have held on to. And now, they sit in the shadows, crying, waiting, hoping. Stay with me, because heaven says this truth will set you free. The tears they shed are not just ordinary, they are tears of confession. They cry because they know heaven saw how much you gave, how much you sacrificed, and how little they gave back. They cry because they see how strong you've become, how resilient you are, and how deeply you were chosen by God to shine. And that strength makes them feel both proud and broken, because they could have stood beside you but didn't. They cry because they hear your voice in their dreams, calling them softly. Dreams where you smile, dreams where you forgive, dreams where you walk away. And every morning, they wake with wet cheeks, haunted by the loss of what could have been. And here is the reason heaven wants you to know: their crying is not weakness, it is a sign of awakening. They are finally realizing the depth of their connection to you, and the cost of losing your presence. Sparkles, my beloved child, stay until the end, because what I tell you now is the moment of breakthrough. Someone is crying over you, yes, but not just with sadness. Their tears carry love, regret, and a desperate desire to make things right. They are crying because they thought time would heal the wound, but instead, time only carved it deeper. They are crying because they thought they could replace your energy, but heaven kept proving that no one could ever be you. They are crying because your soul still echoes in their heart. Every song, every scent, every familiar place reminds them of you. And that memory pierces them like a blade and comforts them like a blanket, all at once. And heaven says, you were meant to hear this today. Because their tears are not just for them. They are a reminder to you that you were always more valuable, more loved, and more unforgettable than you realized. My beloved child, there is more you must know. Their crying is not just a passing moment, it is a daily ritual of the soul. Each tear that falls carries a memory of you, wrapped in pain, wrapped in longing, wrapped in love they cannot forget. They cry because they scroll through old conversations, photos, or memories of times you shared. They whisper your name into the silence, as though heaven itself might carry their words back to your ears. And though the world sees them as strong, their private truth is that they are breaking piece by piece. They cry because they felt your absence in the smallest details. The chair where you once sat, the road you once walked, even the sound of laughter that reminded them of you. These things pierce them deeper than 1,000 words ever could. They cry because they see your growth from afar. You are blooming, you are rising, you are shining brighter than ever. And that sight makes them proud, but also painfully aware that they are no longer standing beside you to witness it fully. My beloved child, don't look away now. This is not the end, it is the raw truth that heaven wanted revealed at this very moment. Their crying is a confession without words, a love letter written in tears. They cry because they remember when you gave them chance after chance. You held them with patience, you guided them with kindness, and you trusted them with your heart. But they now realize they did not honor that sacred gift. They cry because they fear you may never forgive them. That their mistakes built walls too tall to ever climb over again. And that thought shatters them more than anything else. They cry because their heart aches with the possibility of never hearing your laughter again. Never feeling your presence close. Never being able to undo the silence they chose. Listen closely, my beloved child. Heaven says you were never meant to see yourself through their silence, you were meant to see yourself through God's eyes. And God's eyes reveal that you are precious, chosen, unforgettable. They cry because they see that truth now. They cry because they know you are blessed beyond measure, and that your light was always bigger than their fear. And they cry because they know that losing you meant losing the most divine gift they ever received. Their crying is not weakness, it is proof of awakening. It is the breaking of pride, the cracking of masks, the falling of illusions. And through every tear, they are forced to face the truth, they cannot escape your impact. Stay here, because what I reveal next will make you understand why heaven pushed this message toward you today. Their tears are connected to your destiny. Their cries are a signal from the unseen that your story is still unfolding. My beloved child, they cry because deep inside, they still love you. That love has not vanished, it has not faded, it has only grown louder in the silence. And the more they fight it, the more the tears return. They cry because they thought they could hide, but the divine will not let them. Every dream, every sign, every whisper of your presence reminds them of the truth. And no matter how far they run, your energy follows. They cry because heaven is showing them visions of you stepping into greatness. They see doors opening for you, opportunities aligning, blessings pouring out. And while they rejoice for you, it cuts them that they are not the one holding your hand in this season. They cry because they know they may have lost their chance. They cry because silence became their prison. And they cry because their soul still calls out to you in the quiet of night. Dizzy, my beloved child, heaven is saying to you right now, you are the reason behind someone's trembling heart. Their tears are proof of the love they never spoke, the apologies they never gave, and the truth they never confessed. So don't doubt your worth, don't question your place, don't diminish your power. For if someone is crying this deeply over you, it is because your soul left a mark that eternity itself will not erase. Their tears are heavy, but your blessings are greater. Their crying is heartbreaking, but your healing is divine. And heaven says, what you lost in pain will return multiplied in joy. My beloved child, their tears are more than just water falling from the eyes. Each drop carries a hidden word, an unspoken sentence, a cry of the soul that says, I should have done better with you. And as those tears fall, heaven collects them as proof of the bond that still exists. They cry because they replay your kindness in their mind, over and over. They see how you stood by them, even when others walked away. And the guilt of not cherishing you properly becomes too heavy to carry. They cry because every time they smile in front of the world, it is only a mask. Behind closed doors, the silence is deafening, the loneliness unbearable. And in that silence, your memory is the only voice they hear. They cry because even in your absence, your energy refuses to fade. Every corner of their life holds fragments of you, an old message, a familiar fragrance, a sudden reminder in music. And each fragment reopens the wound they thought had healed. My beloved child, don't skip this moment. Their tears are not just about regret, they are about realization. A realization that you were never ordinary, that you were always chosen, always divine. They cry because they see what heaven has already confirmed, you were their greatest blessing. And by not holding you tightly, they lost the most priceless treasure of their lifetime. They cry because they thought they had time. Time to fix things, time to confess, time to choose you properly. But time has slipped away, and now they are haunted by what they didn't do. They cry because they know another season has begun for you. They see your light growing stronger, your steps walking higher, and they wonder if they still have a place in your destiny. My beloved child, heaven whispers, this person's crying is not just private. Their energy is reaching you, and that's why you felt sudden waves of sadness or heaviness. Those tears are echoing across the unseen realm, touching your spirit without words. They cry because the truth is unbearable. The truth that no matter where they go, no one compares to you. And this truth is breaking them open, forcing them to face what they denied for so long. They cry because they wanted to protect their pride. But pride has now become a prison, and tears are the only escape. Their heart has turned into a battlefield of love, guilt, and longing. They cry because their dreams are no longer peaceful. They see you in visions, smiling, walking away, sometimes forgiving, sometimes silent. And every time they wake, their pillow is wet, their chest heavy, their eyes swollen. My beloved child, heaven says, your worth is being confirmed through their tears. You were never too much, never too little, never replaceable. Their crying is evidence that your soul was rare, and your love was eternal. They cry because even now, they hope for a second chance. They imagine what they would say if they could stand before you again. And those imagined words spill out as tears in the darkness. They cry because they finally understand, love is not about possession, but about presence. And though they lost your presence, the love has never died. It only flows now through tears they cannot stop. They cry because their spirit knows what their lips refuse to speak. That you are the one their heart beats for, the one their soul longs for, the one heaven placed in their path for a reason. Stay with me, my beloved child, because the climax of this revelation is near. Their crying is not just about the past, it is a prophecy about the future. Heaven is showing you this so you can walk forward with eyes wide open. They cry because they know the universe is shifting in your favor. Doors are opening for you, blessings are aligning, miracles are rushing toward you. And they cry because they wonder if they are strong enough to stand in that light with you. They cry because they finally realize the depth of their mistake. Their silence was louder than words, and their absence spoke louder than presence. And now, the sound of their tears fills the space where their voice should have been. They cry because they cannot erase you. No matter how far they travel, how much they distract themselves, or how hard they try to forget. You live in them, carved into their soul forever. Fire, my beloved child, listen well, their tears are the proof of your impact, but your future is not chained to their regret. You are walking into a chapter where your value will be celebrated, not questioned. And heaven says, your story is not ending in heartbreak, but in divine victory. They cry, yes, but you rise. They mourn, but you heal. They ache, but you step into the fullness of what was always meant for you. Heaven says their tears are not for you to carry. They are for them to release, for them to learn, for them to finally grow. Your path is blessed, your light is unstoppable, and your heart is protected. My beloved child, there is something deeper hidden inside those tears. It is not just sadness, it is a cry for redemption, a longing for the chance to rewrite the story they broke. Each tear is them telling heaven, I want to make it right, but I don't know how. They cry because they finally understand that time is not endless. Every day without you feels like sand slipping through their hands. And the more time passes, the louder their regret grows. They cry because they realize you were the only one who saw their soul clearly. Others only saw the mask, but you saw the person underneath. And losing that kind of connection feels like losing life itself. They cry because their own choices echo back at them. Every missed call, every unsaid word, every moment of silence. These echoes ring in their ears until tears are the only answer left. My beloved child, heaven is showing you the truth because you need to know your impact. You may think you were forgotten, but their tears prove otherwise. You live rent-free inside their heart, and no one can remove you. They cry because they see how you never stopped believing in love. You carried faith, even when they carried fear. And now, their tears are both admiration and guilt intertwined. They cry because they realize how blind they were. They looked at you but didn't truly see you. Now every memory is a mirror showing them what they lost. They cry because heaven has placed your image in their dreams, your voice in their mind, your presence in their soul. No matter how they fight it, your essence surrounds them. And those tears are the evidence. My beloved child, this is not weakness, it is awakening. Their tears are washing away the illusions they clung to. And in those tears, heaven is preparing their soul for truth. They cry because they are tired of pretending. Tired of acting like they are fine, tired of lying to themselves. The weight of your absence has crushed their pride. They cry because they have never felt a love so deep. No matter what paths they take, no one else carries the same spark, the same light, the same divine energy. And their soul knows it. They cry because they now see clearly, you were not just another chapter. You were the whole book, and without you, their story feels incomplete. My beloved child, don't skip this part, because heaven says the real reason behind their tears is about to be revealed. Their crying is not just about love, it's about destiny. Something inside them knows that your journey and theirs are not finished yet. They cry because they feel you slipping away into a brighter future. They know new doors are opening for you, new people are entering, new blessings are arriving. And it scares them that they may be erased from your destiny forever. They cry because they realize they can't replace you. They tried distractions, they tried silence, they tried running. But every road leads back to you. They cry because heaven is pressing on their soul, telling them to confess, to reach out, to speak what they've been hiding. And until they do, the tears will not stop. My beloved child, heaven says this, their crying is not punishment, it is preparation. A breaking down of ego, a cleansing of pride, a reshaping of the heart. And all of it is tied to you. They cry because you represent the purest part of their journey. You were the gift they didn't deserve, but heaven gave you anyway. And now they see it clearly. They cry because they remember how you always believed in them, even when they didn't believe in themselves. And that memory hurts more than any rejection. They cry because their soul knows the truth, your connection is not ordinary, it is written, it is sacred, it is divine. And though they failed to honor it before, their tears are a silent vow that they will never forget again. Sparkles, my beloved child, stay until the very end. Because heaven says this crying is leading to something bigger. Soon, their silence will break, and what they reveal will change everything. They cry because the pressure inside their spirit is unbearable. Their heart is screaming what their lips never spoke. And the tears are just the beginning. They cry because heaven is preparing them for the day when they must stand before you with the truth. No more running, no more silence, no more hiding. Only truth, raw and undeniable. And when that day comes, you will understand why heaven brought this message to you today. For their tears are not the end, they are the beginning of the greatest revelation of your story. My beloved child, heaven is not finished yet. The tears you feel pressing on your spirit are not random. They are tied to a truth so heavy, it has been kept hidden until now. That truth is slowly breaking out through their crying. They cry because they feel chained by their own silence. Every time they wanted to speak, fear closed their lips. And now those unsaid words pour out as endless tears. They cry because they know their actions caused you wounds. They remember the nights when you waited, the moments when you trusted, the times when you gave. And they see now how much they failed to give back. They cry because they thought walking away would protect them. But instead, walking away destroyed them. And that destruction is why their eyes have not been dry since. My beloved child, their crying is reaching heaven like incense. Each tear is a prayer they cannot form into words. And those prayers carry your name. They cry because they know destiny is calling you forward. You are not the same as before, you are stronger, wiser, more radiant. And that truth both inspires them and terrifies them. They cry because they thought they could move on. But no matter how many doors they knock on, no one answers like you did. And every failed attempt drives them deeper into sorrow. They cry because your love was their safety net. Now, without you, every step feels like walking a tightrope without balance. And that fear is what keeps them awake, crying into the night. My beloved child, don't skip this part. Because heaven says the reason their crying is so intense is because they are being prepared for a breaking point. And at that breaking point, truth will explode out of them. They cry because their heart is being purified. Pride is melting, illusions are fading, and only raw emotion is left. That rawness is what heaven wanted them to feel. They cry because they see you as untouchable now. The more you shine, the more unreachable you feel to them. And that gap creates a flood of regret they cannot contain. They cry because they finally understand that you were their divine appointment. You were not random, you were not temporary, you were heaven sent. And they are crying because they missed it. My beloved child, heaven says, their tears are not the end, but a signal. A signal that the confession is coming. A signal that what was hidden will soon be spoken. They cry because the weight of the secret is unbearable. Their spirit cannot hold it anymore. And heaven will not let them sleep until it is released. They cry because your energy still answers them in silence. When they whisper your name, something shifts inside. And those moments make them cry harder than ever. They cry because they know time is running short. Destiny is moving fast. And they fear they will lose their chance to finally say what their soul has been screaming. My beloved child, stay with me until the end. Because heaven says your heart will not be left empty. While their crying shows you the depth of your worth, your story is about to turn into something far greater. They cry, but you rise. They break, but you heal. They regret, but you receive blessings beyond what you imagined. Their crying proves you were unforgettable. Their tears are proof you were irreplaceable. And heaven says this is your confirmation, you were always chosen, always divine, always meant for greatness. So hold this truth close, someone is crying over you right now, but your destiny is smiling even louder. And soon, the revelation will unfold before your very eyes. My beloved child, heaven is showing me the picture clearly now. Their crying has reached a level where it is no longer just sadness, it is a cry for release, a cry for forgiveness, a cry for love they thought they lost forever. And heaven is making sure you see it. They cry because every song reminds them of you. Every word in a melody feels like your voice speaking back. And it leaves them broken, knowing how much they let slip through their hands. They cry because silence has become louder than sound. The empty spaces in their life echo with your absence. And no matter how much they distract themselves, your memory returns stronger each time. They cry because their soul aches for closure, but closure never comes. Instead, they feel a door wide open inside them where you used to be. And that door will never shut again. My beloved child, this is not ordinary crying. These tears are sacred, they are spiritual, they are divine confessions flowing from the soul. Heaven is using their crying to write the truth across your destiny. They cry because they saw your goodness and didn't value it enough. Now, that goodness shines brighter than ever, but they are forced to watch from a distance. And the distance is killing them inside. They cry because they feel like they lost a once-in-a-lifetime chance. Heaven brought you into their path, but fear blinded them. And those tears are the price of that blindness. They cry because their spirit knows your name is carved on their heart. No matter what, that cannot be erased. And every tear is a reminder of that eternal truth. My beloved child, don't look away now. Because heaven says their crying is not only about loss, it is also about hope. Deep down, they still believe a door could open. They cry because they see signs everywhere. Repeating numbers, dreams, random encounters that all point back to you. And they know heaven is speaking, but fear keeps them frozen. They cry because they feel the pull of destiny. Something inside them whispers that it is not finished yet, that your paths will cross again. And that whisper keeps their heart restless. They cry because their body carries the memory of your touch, your presence, your energy. No matter how far they go, they cannot escape it. And that realization shatters them again and again. My beloved child, heaven is preparing you for what comes next. The tears you are sensing are only the beginning. Soon, their silence will break into words you never expected to hear. They cry because heaven is pushing them to confess. To bring out the truth that has been locked away for too long. And that pressure will only grow until they surrender. They cry because they fear your reaction. Will you forgive? Will you walk away? Will you stay silent? These questions torment them, and tears are their only outlet. They cry because they know their soul will not find peace until they face you. And heaven has already decided, the moment of revelation is coming closer with every tear they shed. My beloved child, heaven's message is clear, their crying is proof that your worth was always greater than their fear. You were never a mistake, never forgotten, never replaceable. You were and still are the divine choice. So while they cry, you rise. While they mourn, you heal. And while they regret, heaven prepares your reward. Your destiny is not chained to their tears, it is fueled by them. Every drop that falls is heaven's confirmation that you were chosen for something bigger. And nothing can stop what is coming for you. So hold on tightly, because their crying is not the final chapter. It is only the beginning of a greater revelation written by heaven itself.